Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Crouch Hair Podcast. And today is going to be Week 9 picks for the NFL. Um, Obviously, we've just had the trade deadline, so there's been a lot of moves, there's been a lot of changes. I'm debating whether or not I'm going to do an NFL trade deadline video where I kind of just go over the trades and who won the trade and who didn't. I might do that, but I have yet to really get around to that. I don't really have time for it today either. So it might be later in the week. It might be on like a Thursday or something. And I am still having problems with that. But it might be on like a Thursday or something. But, it's not going to be this week. But probably the biggest deals was Washington giving away both of their edge rushers, Chase Young and giving away both Chase Young as well as Montez Sweat. Both of them getting traded away. Leonard Williams went to Seattle. Those are probably the biggest deals of the deadline. Uh, I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing one. I remember they happened recently, of course. Lions got DPJ, but that's really not all that interesting. Um, yeah, I can't really think of another one at the moment. Maybe I'm just completely forgetting something. But those are Vikings got Josh Dobbs. That's right. Those are really the biggest deals. So let's just get going. First we have Thursday night football with the Tennessee Titans going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Uh, Titans are going to have the Mayo Man, and the Steelers are going to have Mitch Trubisky. Or I think it's supposed to be Kenny Pickett, actually. I guess he's supposedly healthy enough now. Who really knows? I don't know how the Steeler team finds ways to win, but they do. And Tennessee, I mean, they won last week, but I mean, real question is, Will Levis, I call him the Mayo Man, but Will Levis was really good last week against the Atlanta Falcons. He was absolutely outstanding, and he was what the Titans have been so hoping for in a quarterback, and they finally got it in that game. And Will Levis, he was outstanding. He threw like 4 touchdowns. Um, so the question is, can he repeat that against the Steelers, who are a stingy defense? They have some solid defensive players, guys like Minkah Fitzpatrick, T.J. Watt, solid, all kinds of solid players on that defense for the Steelers, and they're always tough. They always are. They're well coached by Mike Tomlin. It's also a home game for the Steelers. Gonna be an interesting game for sure. Um, I don't really trust Tennessee. I don't really trust the Steelers that much, but and both coaches are good. I guess I'm gonna go with the Steelers. I'll give it to Pittsburgh. They just Mike Tomlin. I don't know how he finds ways to get his team to win every time, but he always does. So I'll take Pittsburgh. I'll go with the Steelers. I'll take the plunge. Sam and Stravinsky are both going with Tennessee, which I could definitely see as well. This is one of those 50-50 games. Like, neither team's really that good, so it should be fun no matter what. Um, so, yeah, it should be a fun one, but they both have the Titans. I'm going with the Steelers. Next is probably the biggest game of the week, as we have, or probably one of the biggest games of the week, because it's a big week for the NFL. We have the Miami Dolphins the Miami Dolphins taking on the Kansas City Chiefs for some reason in Germany. Why they had to have these two go to Germany, I don't really know, because this is a fantastic game. And I don't think there's many people on the West Coast who want to get up at 6:30 in the morning to watch the Dolphins and the Chiefs. I mean, it's a fantastic game. They're both 6-2. So why are you making people on the Pacific Coast get up at 6:30 in the morning? You know what I'm saying? I think if you're uh, definitely if you are a fan of maybe the Dolphins or the Chargers on the West Coast. I don't really know why it does that all the time. If you're a fan of one of those two teams, though, on the West Coast, you got to be really irritated because you're like, I don't want to get up at 6:30 to watch them, but you're making me do that now. You just have a sleep, but I was like, but I think if you're a fan over there, you gotta be mad. You're like, are you kidding me? I really have to get up at 6:30 in the morning to watch these guys. Ay, ay, ay. Anyways, Sam and Serbensky for this enormous game of these top two AFC teams both have the Miami Dolphins getting the win. The Dolphins, they won last week over, I believe, the Patriots. I think, yeah, they beat the Patriots. Then the Chiefs had the shocking loss on the road at the hands of the Denver Broncos. After a loss like that to Denver, who really just has not looked good, I think the Chiefs are going to be playing mad, and they're gonna want to win bad. It's Pat Mahomes. I know Miami's a really darn good team, and this is gonna be a really fun game. That's overall. Of course, I'm gonna be at church the entire time when this game is playing, so I'm going to miss most of it, which is so sad because I'd love to watch this game. But yes, I'm not an idiot. I don't watch football in church. If people are actually wondering, no, I don't do that. I'm not a moron. I'm not stupid. I actually listen. Okay. But I'd love to watch this game, but I won't be. As long as service is going. Now after service, different story. But give me the Chiefs. It's gonna be a fun game, but I got KC. Next, we have the Minnesota Vikings going on the road to take on the ATL Falcons. There's no Kirk Cousins. There's no Justin Jefferson. That spells nightmares for Minnesota. It'll be probably decent, but I got Atlanta. Just Minnesota's missing too many guys now, especially with no Kirk Cousins now. That's a really big loss for them. So give me the Falcons. And that is also who Serbenski is picking, but not Sam. Sam is actually going to take Minnesota. All right. I mean, I can see it for sure. I'm not saying it's impossible, but personally, as I'm going with Atlanta just because Minnesota's new starting quarterback is going to be Josh Dobbs. Oh, actually, no, it's not supposed to be Josh Dobbs. They're starting. They said they're starting Jaron Hall, the BYU rookie. So never mind. But they did trade for Josh Dobbs, so I'm sure once he gets like a week or so to figure out how their offense works, that he'll take over for now that Kirk Cousins is out for the season. But yeah, I got Atlanta. Next, we have the Cardinals going on the road to take on the Cleveland Browns. I don't think there's really much that we have to say about this one. Kyler Murray is not back yet for Arizona. I know that the Browns are also going to have a backup quarterback, but I mean, B.J. Walker or Clayton Tune. I mean, also the Browns are 4-3 with their backup quarterback, and they have a really good defense. I gotta go with the Browns, and that's who everybody else is taking. So we all got Cleveland in that one. I mean, could Arizona surprise some people? Yeah, the one win is Dallas, so I mean anything is possible. And it's been a weird season already, so you never know. But I'm still going with Cleveland. They're the home team. I gotta give them the benefit of the doubt here, and I gotta give them the win in Cleveland. I need a new headset, or I need to find something because this thing just keeps falling off, and it's very irritating. Next, we have the LA Rams going on the road to take on the Green Bay Packers. Um, Green Bay is bad, and I'm not necessarily really, whoa, the Rams are so good, but I've watched the Green Bay. They are really bad. That team, Jordan, is starting to get to the point. Like I'm a fantasy player, it's starting to get to the point where you might want to take, the defense as playing Green Bay because their offense is just that bad. Because you know how you'd kind of do that. I mean, that's kind of the attitude you'd always do with the Lions when the old Lions, when they obviously, you'd always be like, all right, who's the defense playing the Lions this week? Oh, they're available. Good, I'll pick up that defense. When you had bad matchups, that's what everybody would do. Now that's Green Bay. Now you just pick up the defense playing Green Bay because Jordan Love is terrible. So give me the Rams. The Rams are not a great team either, but Green Bay just, ooh. So I gotta go with LA in this one. Serbenski has taken Green Bay. He still believes that the Pack can get done at Lambeau against LA. Certainly could see it, but I'm still going with Green Bay. Or I'm sorry, with LA. And also, that is who Sam is taking. He's got the LA Rams knocking off the Green Bay Packers. Next, we have the Washington Commanders going on the road to take on the New England Patriots. Sam has got Washington. Obviously, as I said, they traded away Montez Sweat and Chase Young, so they lost their bookends. Uh, but and then Serbenski also has Washington. He's got the Commanders knocking off the New England Patriots, going to 4-5. Um, you know, Washington. This is not a good Washington team, and sure, New England's been pretty bad, but Washington now doesn't have either of their bookends. Their quarterback is still Sam Howell. Their offense is still not very good. New England's got a really tough defense, and missing their bookends for Washington are also one of the worst offense or defenses in the league. I think this is a game that, especially at home, New England gets it done. Give me the Patriots to get a close one here, and they get the win over Washington. They get themselves their third win of the season. Next, we have the Bears, who, for some reason, end up making one of the trades with Washington and getting Montez Sweat. They now have Sweat at 2-6. Don't really know what they're going to use him for because they're not going anywhere. But they go on the road to take on the New Orleans Saints with their new pass rusher. I don't really know what this is really going to do for them. To me, it's going to do nothing because I think the Saints are going to win pretty easy. But I really don't understand what the Bears are doing. Like, why on earth would you trade high draft capital to go get a good defensive end? I mean, it's always nice to get a defensive end, but in the position of the Bears, you're 2-6. You're not going anywhere. You're 4 games behind the Lions. There's no reason to make that trade. I really don't understand what the purpose of that deal is, but the Saints, I have the Saints winning this one. That's also the pick for Sam and also the pick for Serbenski. So we all have New Orleans over Chicago. And then next we have the Seattle Seahawks going on the road to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Sam and Serbenski both have, I'm pretty sure, the Ravens. He has it. Okay. Yeah, they both. Okay, yeah. I was looking at, couldn't see the Ravens. Okay, yeah. So they both have the Ravens winning this one, and yeah, I'm going with the Ravens too. It's gonna be a really close game. Or I don't know about really close game. It's gonna be closer than what in the world the Lions did against them. I I really don't know what happened to the Lions in that game. I don't think Seattle's winning, but they're not going to lose 38-6. I can definitely tell you that. I really don't know what happened to the Lions in that game. It's like I don't know if they just didn't have it that day or what. But I mean, I did pick the Ravens to win, but 38-6. Holy cow! Hey, yeah, that's not good. Then we didn't even look good against the Raiders, but that's a whole nother thing. But honestly, I think this will be like 27-17 or 27-16 or something like that. Maybe 27-14. It's not going to be a blowout, but I don't think Seattle's going to make it a one possession game. I can't see it happening. It'll be close, but this is a really tough one for Seattle. So give me the Ravens to get the win, though. Now next we have the Tampa Bay Bucks going on the road to take on the Houston Texans. This is a very interesting matchup. Both of these teams are just overall kind of decent. Uh, it's gonna be in Houston. They're both 3-4. Tampa's still trying to, fight their way into play for the division. And then you got Houston, who's honestly surprising a lot of teams, but they just came off a really bad game where they gave the Panthers their first win of the year. To me, I got Tampa. Houston is a decent team. Houston doesn't look like a terrible team, but I don't really think they're that good. Tampa kind of like finds themselves in the spot, or just an team. They're not good, but they're also not bad. They're just somewhere in the middle. Houston might be a little bit under the middle. So with that being the case, I got Tampa. Serbensky and Sam, though, both have the Houston Texans with the win over the Tampa Bay Bucks. So they both have Houston getting the win at home and defending home field. Next, we have the Indy Colts going on the road to take on the Carolina Panthers. I don't think I really have to go very far with this one. Carolina did end up winning last week, and I don't think either one of them are taking. Neither one of them are taking the Panthers, and I'm not either. So we're all gonna be going Panthers in this one, or Panthers. We're all gonna be going Colts in this one. I mean, Panthers might have won last week, but I don't think they're going to get another one. The Colts are not a great team, but they're also better than Carolina. So, you know, Colts. I could definitely see the Panthers maybe making it happen, but the likelihood of it is a bit low. Next is the Giants going on the road to take on the Raiders. The Raiders are a mess, but the Giants are an even bigger mess. And who really knows about this game? I mean, Vegas, obviously, you got Max Crosby, but you also you got Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs is pretty good too. You got a couple really good players, and then you just got nothing. And as for the Giants, they thought they'd be a much better team, and instead they have completely flopped and just have not been able to get anything on track whatsoever. So it's been rough in New York. It's been, and they traded away Leonard Williams this past week to Seattle. So they're kind of saying, yeah, this isn't working out. So let's change some things, and I mean they certainly did. They traded away Leonard Williams, which was a big part of their team. So um, you know, I definitely could see um, anybody. Oh my gosh, really? I could really see anybody winning this game. The Raiders are coming off that loss at Detroit that was kind of deflating because it looked like they could possibly still win that game. The Giants aren't good, but it is so hard for me to pick them just because of how bad they've been. So I'll go with the Raiders, and Sam and Serbensky both are also going to go with the Raiders. So Vegas for all of us. Next is another huge game this week, being the Dallas Cowboys going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. It's round one of this enormous matchup and fantastic matchup at that. And Sam and Serbensky both have the Eagles. They both have Philly getting the win at home, defending home turf. Dallas, Dallas is a very interesting opponent. Is a very interesting team because they have that loss to Arizona, of which nobody understands. Then they have the blowout loss at the hands of of the Niners. And then they end up beating the Chargers last week. They took the Rams to the God, I forget the phrase, but they destroyed them. The Rams are pretty much manhandled. Now they go to Philadelphia for an enormous football game, as big as it gets. This is obviously one of the better rivalries also in the NFL, and it should be highly entertaining. You got the Eagles being both these teams probably aren't as good as they were last season. The Philly Eagles, they've been a little bit cavalier with the football. They've been turning it over a little bit more than you would probably like. As for Dallas, you know, Prescott hasn't necessarily been great. They've had some games where you just go, what in the world? Like Arizona, or really even that San Fran game. You have those types of games where you're just looking and you're like, what? So it's going to be really interesting to see these two head to head face off. I still think the Eagles, though, have the edge. And for a game like this, I think they're going to be playing their absolute best, as hard as they possibly can. I really love to see these two play because it's almost always great, and it's going to be great again. It's going to be in, like I said, going to be in Philly. It's a 4 o'clock start time, so this definitely is getting the national attention. And looking at the other 4 o'clock games, no one's going to be watching those games. I mean, if I still had NFL Red Zone, I would be watching Red Zone, but I mean, I have NFL Red Zone, but even if I did have it for this, I am not watching this because really, this is the only game that really means anything. So I would definitely not even be bothering with Red Zone for this one. So give me the Eagles zone, a really close one over Dallas. Should be really fun. And Sunday night might be even better because Sunday night we have the Buffalo Bills going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. What a matchup this is. Bengals and Bills. I mean, they have some history with the previous few games in the playoff, with the game in the playoffs. Of course, the Damar Hamlin's situation with the really late Monday night game. This actually is going to be in Cincinnati, like the last one was. So we finally actually get to see the two play each other. But this is going to be really fun. The Bengals are finally starting to get their season on track after a rough start, and then the Bills have been a bit all over the place. Allen's turned it over a lot. They're they're another team that's been a little bit cavalier with the football, and the Bills are kind of all over the place, but this is still a really good football team, and so is Cincinnati. Uh, I think either one of these teams can win this game, but I just saw what the Bengals did to the San Fran 49ers, and I am sold. I think the Bengals are back. And if the Bengals are back, they're going to be tough to beat. So give me this. So give me this as the Bengals reassuring that, well, yeah, we're back and we're back for real. So I got Bengals winning this one. Gonna be a really close, really fun game though. Should be absolutely fantastic. What a week of football. And Bengals are also going to be the pick for Sam and Serbenski. So we have a Cincinnati Bengals sweep here on this one. Next, we have the Jets going on the road to take on the LA Chargers. The pick for both Sam and Serbenski, once again, they are going with the same pick. They have the LA Chargers getting back to 500 as they knock off the New York Jets on Monday Night Football. As this game really isn't that intriguing as any of the other ones, it honestly is a decent game. Oh my lord, you gotta be kidding me. This isn't honestly as intriguing as, say, the Bengals and the Bills, or Eagles and Cowboys. It's not as intriguing, but it certainly is a interesting game. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is kind of getting ridiculous. What, should I go back here like this? Maybe this will work. No, I can't do that. But it'll be interesting because the Jets' defense is very tough, and obviously, no one really knows what Zach Wilson Uh, so it's gonna be a fun game for sure. It's gonna be actually I think it's gonna be pretty close because the Jets have actually done well even with Zach Wilson as the quarterback. It's going to be at MetLife, and the Chargers are looking to get back to 500. I think it's going to be very close. There's a good chance of the Chargers doing what they do and charging it, but I'm still going with the LA Chargers. I think they get it done. It should be a interesting Monday night game, but at the end, I think the Chargers will win a close one. And that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Until then, adios, everyone.